Let's dive into the recap of the Diplomat Seasons 1 and 2, covering key events from the HMS Courageous bombing to shocking political betrayals and power plays. An explosion rocks the British aircraft carrier HMS Courageous, killing 41 Royal Naval officers. Kate Wyler, a seasoned diplomat prepping for a post in Kabul, gets reassigned as the US ambassador to London by the president. Kate's husband Hal, a White House insider, comes along, but their marriage is shaky. The CIA suspects an old US enemy, possibly Iran, behind the attack, and an Iranian boat carrying explosives fuels the theory. Meanwhile, the US Secretary of State Miguel Ganon's pushing a Sunni coalition with the Saudis and UAE, but Kate senses he's keeping her in the dark. Stuart, Kate's deputy, learns Gannon's trying to undermine her, possibly to oust her from London. Billy, the White House chief of staff, hints Kate's being eyed for vice president, but it's a test she's got to ace on her own. A mysterious blonde posing as staff sedates Hal and drives off with him. Hal is waking up handcuffed in an unknown spot. When they notice Hal's gone, folks wonder if he ditched with a stylist or if it's a CIA drill. Hal, still captive, gets a call from Rasul Shaheen, Iran's deputy minister of foreign affairs, someone he and Kate know from Geneva. Shaheen says Iran didn't bomb HMS Courageous and claims they scrapped a plan to kill a retired US general, Bradford Symes. Hal's released and returns to Winfield House, where he's checked for injuries and spills everything to Kate, Stuart, and the team. Later, Kate reaches out to a Beirut contact, Danny, to dig into Shaheen's ties. At a funeral for the fallen sailors, Prime Minister Trowbridge vows justice, but a widow calls him out, pushing him to publicly blame Iran. His words go viral, sparking an Islamophobic attack on a Muslim family. Kate confirms Hal contacted Shaheen via Rome and confronts him. The president is at Winfield House. Kate is furious at Hal, and Hal drops a bombshell. She's being eyed for vice president. Hal takes charge, showing Rayburn around, while Kate, Hal, Stuart, and Billy huddle up to discuss the VP news. Rayburn pushes for a press event with PM Trowbridge to show US-UK unity, but Kate warns it'll look like they're gearing up to hit Iran. Kate tries to sway British Foreign Secretary Dennison on the optics, but he's firm. Trowbridge can't appear weak. Billy reveals VP Grace Penn's financial scandal makes her a liability, and Kate's a safe, non-political replacement. Iran moved a battalion to its coast, expecting an attack. Dennison admits Trowbridge lied about the carrier sinking to flex naval power, which could provoke Iran. Kate pushes Billy to stop US ships from deploying, protecting Shaheen. Billy and Stuart pitch Kate as VP, appealing to her duty, not ambition. Kate confronts Hal, suspecting he pushed her candidacy to save their crumbling marriage. Back inside, Kate threatens to resign, warning Rayburn about rogue Quds Commander Saman Karimi's likely retaliation. Quoting Rayburn's own words, she convinces him to halt the ships. Hydra reveals Britain's advising citizens to leave Iran and may pull embassy staff, signaling Trowbridge is doubling down on the Iran scare. The US plans a trade statement to prompt Iran's response. At the gala, Kate's firm she won't take the VP slot if it means staying with Hal, as their marriage is crumbling. Kate learns Dennison supposedly met the Iranian ambassador, but he denies it. She realizes Iran got the trade message and spread the rumor to force a meeting. Kate, wearing a hidden camera, joins Dennison to confront Ambassador Hajar, who reveals Russian mercenary Roman Lenkov funded the HMS Courageous attack. Iran's caught in a bind as Russia's ally, but can't act since they're trade partners. Hajar burns the note, then chokes and collapses. Back at the office, Kate and Dennison nearly kiss after a drink, but pull back. At home, Kate, without a word, hooks up with Hal, who weirdly wears a hat. Hydra leaks Russia's role to MI6. Hydra and Stuart are debating a potential war with Russia after learning Roman Lenkov, a Russian mercenary, was behind the HMS Courageous attack. Hydra gets word that President Rayburn wants to visit Chevening House to strategize with Prime Minister Trowbridge, but Stuart, with Karen and Hydra's help, convinces her to delay it until secretary-level plans are set. At Chevening, Foreign Secretary Austin Dennison, his sister Cecilia, and advisors Hope and Kemper Waite greet them. The meeting starts, but Austin shifts to discuss Iran first, pushing to clear them publicly while prepping to name Russia. Kate's mention of Hajar's death irks Austin, who calls her out privately. He shocks her by saying the UK wants to distance itself from the US to seem independent. Kate and Austin argue for diplomacy, but Trowbridge insists on immediate action, dismissing sanctions as ineffective. Kate and Austin video call Idra, and she reveals Hajar died of a heart attack and that Kate secretly asked the DoD for Russian bombing targets. Austin is rushing to stop Kate, but she suggests bombing a Russian target to Trowbridge. Kate clarifies to Austin it was just to calm PM Trowbridge, who's itching for action. Kate and Hal bump into Trowbridge, who's juggling wine bottles and admits he distrusts his team, including Austin, comparing Russia's moves to World War II. The Wylers, Austin, and Stewart work overnight, with Idra revealing Russian subs near Britain's coast, hinting Russia knows they're onto them. By morning, Kate has a diplomatic plan for Austin to pitch, but Trowbridge rejects it, insisting on bombing the Aleppo-Raqqa-Hama triangle. Kate misses meeting Gannon at the airport, sending Hal instead. At Chevening, Hal and Austin discuss targeting the Lenkov group in Libya, where they're fighting and Libya's requested aid, offering a legal basis for action. Trowbridge agrees, but Gannon objects. Hal uncovers Gannon's South Carolina stop, suggesting he's sabotaging the plan to undermine Rayburn for his own presidential ambitions. Stewart and Idra go public with their relationship after Hal guesses it. Rayburn greenlights the Libya plan. Kate questions if Hal's okay playing second fiddle. He'll support her, but won't stay silent. Kate preps to meet Russian Ambassador Oleg Balakin at the Foreign Office to discuss the Lenkov group with US-backed British plans to target them in Libya. At the meeting, Oleg delivers a fiery anti-US rant, secretly passing Kate a note directing her to Stout Wine Company. There, a woman reveals Lenkov will visit his family in La Colline, France in 10 days. Idra urges Kate to brief Rayburn in Washington. Meanwhile, Billy summons Hal, revealing Rayburn's firing Gannon, partly to sell Kate's VP candidacy. Kate, unaware of Hal's meeting, briefs the CIA and State Department but doesn't tell Hal about Lenkov. France opposes arresting Lenkov on their soil, and Gannon's secret talks with Trowbridge complicate things. Hal lunches with Lewis, who floats him as Secretary of State. Trowbridge, furious over the de-escalation shift, meets Kate, feeling undermined. Back at Winfield, Hal, jealous of Kate's plan to call Dennison, suggests waiting. PM Trowbridge has approved arresting Roman Lenkov despite earlier objections. Idra learns from Billy that Hal can't be used in CIA ops due to Kate's VP candidacy. Idra breaks up with Stewart after he reveals he'll move to DC to prep Kate for VP. At Chatham House, Hal's speech on engaging enemies stirs the crowd. Tory MP Merritt Grove approaches him for an urgent talk, but Kate, furious after Hal tells her, accuses him of chasing the Secretary of State role and cancels the meeting via Margaret Royland. In Paris, Kate and Austin meet French Interior Minister Fournier, who rejects the Lenkov arrest, citing Russia tensions. At an evening party, Kate learns the British Special Forces plan to assassinate Lenkov, not arrest him. Kate, suspecting a cover-up, tosses their phones to security, realizing a dead Lenkov benefits his hirers. They conclude Trowbridge hired Lenkov for the HMS Courageous Attack. Meanwhile, Grove, refusing to meet Stewart and Ronnie without Hal, is killed in a car explosion. Kate's call to Margaret, who knew Grove wanted to contact US authorities, suggests Margaret orchestrated the blast to silence him. But before we continue with the second season, if you like this video, hit like and subscribe for more recaps and updates on your favorite shows. Season 2 opens with a fiery explosion aftermath in Notting Hill, where an IED-rigged car injures Ronnie, Stewart, and Hal, and kills Tory MP Merritt Grove. Ronnie's alive but critical, Hal's in surgery, and Stewart's condition is unclear. Austin reveals the Tory party's Russian donations, possibly linked to Roman Lenkov, but Kate theorizes PM Trowbridge, not the Kremlin, hired Lenkov for the HMS Courageous Attack. Kate visits Hal in the hospital, where he survives but is battered. At the Cobra meeting, Trowbridge blames Russia, but evidence shows the bomb was British-made, and Margaret Royland's unreachable, casting doubt on her involvement. Kate's still suspicious of Trowbridge. Tragically, Ronnie dies, escalating US-UK tensions. Stewart's revelation that Ronnie was inside a restaurant during the explosion suggests a cover-up. A mysterious call from Anne Legendre Armstrong, supposedly dead for 15 years, reveals Royland on the line, deepening the conspiracy. Idra secretly meets Margaret Royland, convincing her to appear at the ceremony for political cover, swapping coats to blend in. Hal tells Kate she can leave him for Austin, but she brushes it off. Austin reveals a British plan to kill Lenkov, not arrest him, though Kate insists on keeping him alive to expose the British. Royland at the US Embassy meets Austin, Kate, and Idra, revealing the British British, including Grove, hired Lenkov for the HMS Courageous attack. Royland uses disposable phones with Trowbridge, but Kate's call to her about Grove's meeting likely triggered the Notting Hill bombing. Austin wants to turn Royland in, but Kate warns the police might be involved, so they keep her in a safe house. Stewart blames Kate and past ambassadors for Ronnie's death, clashing with her and Idra. Trowbridge announces Roman Lenkov's death by special forces, confirming Royland's warnings. Kate, Idra, and Stewart discuss turning Royland over to authorities. Hal arrives with Brad Chapman, a U.S. Embassy donor, but Kate declines his suggestion to bring Brad to her Foreign Office meeting with Austin. There, Austin reveals a no-confidence letter against Trowbridge, who faces being ousted, possibly making Austin the next PM. At the party, with American flags and fireworks planned, Billy approves Kate revealing Trowbridge's ousting, but Stewart questions her focus, hinting at her feelings for Austin. Kate offers Hal a safe house, but he refuses. Several British MPs boycott the event, and public support grows for Trowbridge's Lenkov killing. Trowbridge invites Kate to a meeting with the Scottish First Minister, blindsiding Austin, who decides to expose Trowbridge's role in the HMS Courageous strike, risking his own career. As Stewart leaves during the fireworks, Kate's bound by fire speech is overshadowed by Hal's panic attack, which she calms. Stewart is elated from the 4th of July party, unaware that Georgia, his date, was planted by CIA Chief Idra on Billy's orders to record him. Kate visits Royland, revealing Austin's plan to resign and expose the HMS Courageous attack. At a secure location, Royland confesses to Hal that she ordered the attack to unify the UK amid Scotland's secession push. Lenkov used anti-ship missiles instead of limpet mines, accidentally killing 40 crew members when the missile hit a fuel storage area. In Scotland, Kate meets First Minister Gemma Dowd, promising to pitch price caps to Trowbridge. Idra catches Hal making secret calls, but he won't say who to, though he insists he's loyal. Royland confesses her role in the bombing, enraging Trowbridge, who chokes her. Royland is taunting Kate about Trowbridge's innocence in the HMS Courageous bombing. At the Scotland party, Trowbridge, shaken and with blood on his sleeve, falters on price cap talks with the Scottish First Minister, and Kate stops his toast to avoid suspicion. Austin suggests sending Royland home, but Trowbridge questions Kate's loyalty for leaving him alone with Royland. Stewart wakes Kate and Hal with news. Vice President Grace Penn is en route to London. Penn meets Kate discussing Royland's confession and French intelligence on the Lenkov murder plot. Penn critiques Kate's VP prospects, offering advice that Kate takes gracefully, leading her to believe Penn should stay VP. Over drinks, Penn and Kate bond, but when Kate urges Hal to support Penn, he snatches her phone, revealing a bombshell. Penn, not Royland, orchestrated the HMS Courageous bombing. Kate pushes forward with her VP bid. Trowbridge, reconciling with Austin, admits his flaws and agrees to resign quietly, unaware of Penn's role. Penn pitches Kate as nuclear czar to Rayburn and Trowbridge for Arctic defense, derailing her VP path. Austin, gutted, cuts ties with Kate, calling their fling a mistake and blocking her PM access. At the dinner, Trowbridge's speech falters mid-announcement of Kate's role, alerting Penn. Outside, Penn explains her bombing. Russia's Arctic push threatens US subs at Scotland's Cregan base. Independence would shutter it, exposing the eastern seaboard. Kate, swayed, tells Hal to report Penn to Gannon, but he calls Rayburn instead. Hal panics, phoning Kate. The president's dead. With Rayburn gone, Penn ascends to the presidency, flipping the power dynamic. And here is a question for you. With secrets unraveling and alliances tested, can Kate navigate the chaos to claim power, or will her loyalty to Hal blind her to the real threats?